Okay, this is Combat Chiang Mai podcast, episode number 1. I am your host, Sakan Lam, and we're here with my good student and friend, Gale. Gale is Thai. He has a strong background in martial arts. He's done boxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, and he's an amateur fighter like myself. We've been training together. We were going to do a boxing match together. Unfortunately, COVID hit, and now here we are. Gym's been shut for a couple of weeks, but we're staying busy. And Gale, luckily, has been helping me with the new online course, which is going to be Core Combat Kickboxing. So you can check out those courses on Core Combat Chiang Mai online.thinkific.com. So Gale, tell us about yourself. Give us a little bit more of your background in martial arts.
My background in martial art. Okay. Well, let's start from the topic. First, I've been doing Muay Thai since I was in grade 12. Then I moved for about 2 years, and then I moved to Taekwondo for about 6 months. Then the head coach have trouble with the owner of the gym, so he moved out. And the replacement wasn't quite on point, so I left. Then after that, I joined the university team. I switched between boxing, karate, and judo, and that's it. And right now, I'm training Combat Chiang Mai.
Nice.
My current fight record is amateur boxing 0-1. That's it.
It's a lot more than a lot of people can hope for. One boxing match is no joke. We did our training together, and that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. You think boxing, it's easy, it's just punching, but it's so difficult. You have to have so much cardio and heart and determination. It is a shame that the fight got canceled, but we definitely got better for it. I can say that. Tell me, what's your end goal, or what's your vision practicing the martial arts?
Practicing? Well, I like to train. That's it. Back then, when I was young, I hate physical activity. I don't like to move, but when you got bullied a lot and then you fed up, when you threw a first punch and it land, it felt good. That's why I train.
Feels good. Huh?
Yeah, it's real good to stick up for yourself. Yeah. That's it.
So as you can see, compared to me, Gale's a big guy, heavyweight actually. And what's surprising about you, you've got like some of the best kicks I've seen for your size. So it must be really satisfying to be able to pull off these kicks, and people go like, "Whoa, damn!"
Well, the funny thing is, after that incident and I started training, the rumors spread around the school, and I got challenged to a fight a lot. At first, I accepted every fight coming my way.
Jeez.
And only a few months of training, you can kick like 99% of people's ass. The only time I lost is the guy is from football club, and he's in the top star football club, and he's super fit. I just got out cardio. That's it.
Athletes, man, you can't mess with athletes. So your amateur boxing record is 0-1, but your street record, I'm sure, is much better than that.
It's around 20. I got into trouble a lot until one day my mom came to school and she gave the final word. If this happens again, I'm going to take you off school.
No one would ever guess too. You think you're a big dweeb, right? With the glasses and nerdy.
Yeah, at first, that's the thing. They think that I'm a big dweeb.
Don't mess with Gale. I learned that a long time ago. Okay, so we have a topic today, and we want to do each podcast with a theme, whether it's martial arts, combat sports, self-defense, weapons, movies, choreography, you name it. So any of the viewers out there, please send us in your ideas, your questions, your topics. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to discuss them. It's a great opportunity to build enthusiasm about the martial arts, because I'm obsessed about them. You're obsessed. He's obsessed. We might as well talk about it because we got downtime. So, what's today's topic, Gale?
Damn. Put me on point, huh? So, yeah, let's do it. Muay Boran then.
Muay Thai Boran. So, Muay Boran was made famous by Tony Jaa's breakout role, which was Ong Bak. So, Ong Bak came out, what? Early 2000s? Early 2000s. And it not only put Muay Thai back on the scene, but it made Muay Boran, which means ancient style of Muay Thai, a global phenomenon. So people were like scrambling, where can I learn Muay Boran? Where can I learn this? Where can I learn this? And to me, being a Thai, yeah, it was great that it reincited this enthusiasm, energy, but to me, there was no difference, Muay Thai and Muay Boran. Muay Boran was Muay Thai to me, and the reason why there was a big separation because there was sport Muay Thai and then the traditional martial art Muay Thai, which now people call Muay Boran. So what's your take on that?
Well, it's just the same thing with every martial art. When you put a lot of restriction or of rule, the art tends to change. Like, for example, if we allow more throws in Muay Thai, which is the core principle. Thum, tap, jab, hak mean throw, grab, break, and catch. It's essentially the core principle of Muay Thai. It's close combat art, and they value grappling more because Muay Thai tend to train with krabi kabal, which is the weapon style of Thai martial art. So yeah, the art will change, but nowadays after Rama 5 sanitized Muay Thai, I should say, he standardized and sanitized Muay Thai into more appealing sport for Westerner, because back when the boxing is the thing in Western country when Rama 5 was on the throne, and they say that Muay Thai is too brutal, his art is too dangerous for people to train, so he sanitized to sport version of it, and then sport education brand of the government sanitizes into Muay Thai that you see today.
I see. So originally in the past, Muay Thai was just a support system for losing your weapon, right? So it was supposed to be a warfare system, right? So to teach the soldiers how to defend
just
themselves.
Like Jiu-Jitsu from Japan, or like actually wrestling from Europe is trained along with the sword and the weapon. It's just a last-ditch effort to not get yourself killed on the battlefield. That's it.
It's really interesting though when you see the old school videos and pictures of Muay Thai, Muay Boran. The guys, the way they would stand, it looked like the old-timey pugilism boxing stance. You know, it looked kind of stiff, you know, just like, right? They would constantly switch stances. You obviously see their hands bound in rope. And they would have matches, right? And again, you see the old black and white footage, the grainy footage, you see them moving. And it looks a lot different than what we see in the ring today. What do you attribute that to being?
Well, the arena itself is the key. We fought on, the ground, and you don't want to get slammed on the ground. You don't want to get hit by the earth. That's it. And if you stay on your toe, it's easier for your opponent to sweep you. I think that's the thing. And also, back then they don't have ground like we do. The implementation of timing is during Rama 5 reign, when he tried to make Muay Thai into a sport, so normal people can practice. Because back when, those who can train Muay Thai is soldier or king or prince, and that's it. Commoner don't allow to train Muay Thai unless you want to join the army. And back then it's the better choice, better than a slave, better than a farmer.
Sure.
So people like to train in Muay Thai from monk. Monk is essentially veteran, the retired
Veteran
soldier,
soldiers.
yeah,
The veteran
that
soldiers.
retire to fight peace in life.
Nice.
And they just pass along their knowledge for next generation to serve the country.
It's crazy to see like a lot of the monks here in Thailand. They're just like covered in tattoos. They kind of look like ex-cons.
Yeah.
You know, but like you never know. You know how badass some of these guys might be because you know your average Thai person, especially the older generation, they're just like they could have been Muay Thai champions. They probably had over like 300 fights. It's just a random pick. You would never be able to tell by looks alone. So. Talking about Muay Thai and Muay Thai Boran, Muay Thai, of course, in Thailand, a lot of foreigners come and learn and respect the art and they train it and they've gained the respect of the Thai people. But why would a person come here to learn Muay Boran?
Well, first of all, it's intense sport. It's intense form exercise, good for your health. You stand in the low stand all day, you move with precise and force. You have to move precise because Muay Boran has great emphasis on technique. You have to move this certain way and good for your cognitive function. So you have to like kata and karate.
Sure.
Westerners tend to overlook this kind of stuff.
Sure,
I don't
of
know
course.
why. Because maybe it's not kicking and hitting stuff. We have different culture after all.
Right.
But the kata is good for improve your technique.
Sure. It's how to stand.
How to stand
have
correctly.
good posture.
Yes, it's not 100% translate into combative movement, but it's like all things in life.
Sure.
Kata is like, when you first learn the alphabet, the book that you have the dot on, that you draw A exactly what the book said, that's kata.
Right.
It's good for learning, but you don't use kata in real fight.
Right.
It's the same thing that you don't use perfect grammar.
Right. It's like jump rope, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to jump in the ring and start jump roping against
Yeah.
your opponent, right?
In
But it develops
day-to-day
those intricacies.
conversation.
I see. From my perspective, like when I wanted to learn Muay Boran because I thought it was cool because like Tony Jaa was amazing, like all these fancy techniques that we saw starting to be used in combat sports as well. Like from my perspective, like I didn't want to touch sport Muay Thai because I was too scared. I was too much of a pussy, man. To this day, I'm still scared of fighting Muay Thai. I'd rather do MMA. I'd rather do boxing. Like Muay Thai, for some reason, it's terrifying. Just standing up there in the ring, 15 minutes getting kicked and kneed is like a terrible, terrible proposition to me. But I think for me, some people would be like, I want to do the artistic or the traditional side of the martial arts. They don't want to touch that combat sports side. But I think it's a better option with people that start with the combat sports, then dabble into the Muay Thai Boran so that they can kind of reverse engineer the techniques and start to apply those kata methods and the training methods that they find in those old style into combat sports, into their fighting.
That's true, because if you start in Muay Boran and you might get, and that might get into your head that you think you can fight, but you really can't. Some people see Tony Jaa do the move. The one thing to remember that Tony Jaa have been doing these things since he was 5.
Yeah.
He is the master. Even though he might not be in combat sport, he can sure fight.
Well, he mixed it with Taekwondo as well, just to improve the on-screen presence
Yeah.
of his technique, right?
Because well, the flashy king of Taekwondo add flavor to the movie.
So what about you? Do you plan on doing Muay Thai, MMA, any combat sports in the future?
I think I will dabble in MMA because it's aligned more to my goal of self-defense.
Sure.
MMA is the closest thing you can get to the street fight.
Yeah, on the streets.
Yeah. And I want to train and test myself in safe-ish environment.
Safe-ish environment, man.
Yeah. It's better to get thrown on your head on the spring floor than on the concrete, for sure.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm planning fighting MMA, but what you said interests me. I think MMA is much more scarier than Muay Thai because the ground and pound is big. You know, in Muay Thai, when you got clinch and you get knee, it's not. You can defend against it. It's not like you're on your most vulnerable position on the floor and have the guy who weighed for me 100 kilos sitting on your chest and then rain down punishment upon you.
All fighting is scary, that's for sure. You know, even Taekwondo matches, that's scary. But for me, you know, MMA, you can at least tap. even if it's to striking, you can tap, which I've done before. And people don't regard you as a pussy for it. In Muay Thai, if you don't come out after round 3, nobody's going to want you to fight again, and nobody's going to trust you. So, all right. So I think that was a great talk about Muay Boran, martial arts in general. We should definitely have more of these. So if you want us to talk more about Muay Boran or any other topics, again, please let us know. Send in your questions, your comments, your concerns, your likes, your dislikes, whatever. Share and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, Core Combat Chiang Mai Online.thinkific.com. We have tons of martial arts courses for mastery, Jeet Kune Do, Kali, Silat, MMA, and soon we're going to have kickboxing. So thank you for joining. Thank you to my guest Gale for regaling us with information on Muay Boran. So we'll see you next time. Keep training and stay safe.